What's up? What's up?
Thank you for listening to the ttalks.net podcast, the show that brings you information, guidance, and support to entrepreneur-minded individuals like yourself. ttalks.net will give you something to talk about tomorrow. This isn't the daily show, but this is the show where you'll get everything. You'll get a fiesta of a mix with the old and the new. They will give you tips and insights into everyday business, big wins in everyday life. They have a lot to add, from bookkeeping to sales, sales management, and sales training, and daily content for listeners to learn and enjoy. We are here to improve your life and business or sales career. Without any further ado, introducing the dynamic duo, Alex DeLuca and Rafael Rodriguez Jr.
Hello, hello, hello again. Good evening. My name is Alex DeLuca. I'm live from Naples, Florida. Today is the last day of March 31st, 2021.
And this is Rafael from Hollywood, Florida, saying good night, good day in March 31st.
Good riddance. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Good riddance. Hey, we're back. T-Talk Live, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, glad to have you guys back.
I'm glad to be here. Glad to share this half an hour with our audience. And, one of the things that is end of the month, hopefully everybody hit their goals for the month. And if you didn't hit your goal for the month, well, feel sorry for you.
No, there's always next month.
I feel sorry for you for today. Now, just keep in mind, you can go from hero to zero, and that's what's going to happen tomorrow. You could have been a hero this month, and tomorrow you're at zero. Then it starts all over again.
You know, you're only as good as your last game. That's what Coach used to say.
Your last sales number. So, one of the things that we wanted to talk about, and it kind of goes right in line, is that. Oops.
What'd you click on there?
Well, one of the things.
We're going back to we're live. Today we're going to talk about goals. Go. Yeah, I could scream louder. My kid's like right over there trying to sleep. 2021 worker from the home office, ladies and gentlemen. DJ set up for the T-Talks. But yes, goals. That's one of my favorite topics.
It is. And,
ever. Probably.
There's 10 steps that we have come up with.
Oh, geez, 10 steps again. T-Talks 10 steps. We should have put that in the title. T-Talks 10 steps, T-Talks topics. Giving you live feedback. We're in the trenches on a daily, whether it's knocking on doors, training, running sales calls, dealing with customer service issues, order issues, whatever it may be. And the remote bookkeeper over there is running crazy right now doing taxes, busy with the digital masters company, and there's a lot of goals to hit. So let's talk about some goal setting boosts, bonus, and pluses.
Awesome. Well, and let's get right into it. So, why do we set goals? And we set, specific goals. And the one thing I always come up with is there's a Harvard study that found that setting specific goals increases motivation. I mean, you heard of Harvard, have you?
Yeah, I could say I went to not a school even close to that. Yeah.
Well, it's really, Harvard is a pretty prestige school, and it's been around for a while. And usually, if Harvard says it, it might be true.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stats to start with. Harvard study says, you could listen to that one.
Yes.
If it says Broward College study says, I'm just kidding.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with Broward College.
Nothing at all.
And as long as you have any type of education, you could be, you could have graduated from the School of Hard Knocks. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's it. So back to the T Talks topics. All right, so where were we at with this one? We had the 10 steps. We can slice it and dice it how many different ways, but we're going to give it to you. What do we have first?
Well, first of all, I'd like to come up with what's your monthly sales goal? And, we try to break down, if you want to make $100,000 let's make it easy. Let's say we want to make $10,000 for the month. Okay. Now, tomorrow is April 1st, and I know it's April Fool's Day, so we're not going to go there. But let's say you want to make.
The world's going to an end and Dogecoin going to the moon.
We know we want to make $10,000 and whatever. Okay. So the best thing to do is you got to look at your closing percentage. You got to look at your numbers. And you kind of work yourself backwards. But let's pretend that
we talk about this all the time, right? And where you're going with this is we're trying to align with, what's your annual sales goal? Work backwards from that. You have yourself how many sales reps or what it may be, and that's how you're going to define that target as a whole.
Well, now I know, let's pretend that I make 10% commission. So if I want to make $10,000 for the month, I got to sell, and I got to at least materialize $100,000 worth of business for the month of April. Mm-hmm. And once I figure that out, now I'm going to work it and say, okay, so there's 4 weeks in the month. I'm going to go ahead and say that I need to be trending somewhere around $25,000 a week to hit my goal.
And what do you have to do to get there?
And what's going to happen is that knowing my closing percentage, knowing my pipeline, I should be able to say very comfortably that I should be able to hit my goals. And that's where your CRM comes in play. That's where your follow-up comes in play. This is where your cold, hot, medium, mild, all these things that you can actually look at it and say, these are my targeted individuals that I know, and there's $1 assigned to it for on a revenue base. That, okay, this person is 15,000, this person is 20,000, this person is 16,000, and so on and so forth. And I can look at my month and say, this is a very doable goal.
Very doable.
So the next,
you have to know your numbers.
Absolutely. Set waterfall goals, and that I'm a firm believer of this.
We were talking about this a few weeks ago with how we were setting up not me, but you were setting up the expectations for what you had going on with a certain situation, and if you knew new hires and old school guys you had on the books.
Well, what it is that I always talk about, if I'm going to set some goals, I'm going to go ahead and basically, instead of 4 weeks, I'm going to try to do it in 3 weeks. So I want to know that by my 3rd week going in, I already hit my goals. So I'm going to push real hard early during the beginning, so I can just cruise at the end. You know how easy, whenever you're putting because what happens is that you put yourself in a pressure point. You're going into the last week, you're behind, $40,000-$50,000, and you're focusing more on, man, I gotta hit the number, instead of going through what you're good at, just going with the flow. You don't want any distraction when you're dealing with
that does so much for your psyche, and I relate business to sports a lot, or whether it be golf, but bad shots matter. financial situations matter. If you're squeezing for sales, it matters. And goal setting, we talked about this many moons ago on episode, I don't know, whatever, maybe 5 or 6, about what was it, hitting your goals by Thursday every week, and either double time, go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or take some R&R off every other week and do what you have to do. But if you put yourself in a situation where we talked Sunday night when we jumped on T Talks at 10 p.m. before the week started, we're already game planning our goals set for the next week. If you have that mindset, you go into Monday full steam ahead with you're jotted down on whatever digital or analog or pen written piece of paper you have, and your mindset's good. It's easy to crush your goals with that mindset. You have to plan and set those goals up. You're talking about those waterfall effects that you had, right?
Yep.
With the new guys, just increasing, production for productivity inch by inch and little by little. So, it even goes down to the person you're training in the office, always throwing a little bit more onto the plate rather than all at one time.
Well, and what happens is that your team and yourself, you won't experience burnout from the increase in the workload, and you actually give them time to ramp up quality. So, that's always a good thing. And let me tell you, in the True Green days,
here we go.
True Green days, we
back in the day,
we were known to hit our numbers. Our numbers
before his hair was gray. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, our numbers were golden. If we say we're gonna hit a number, we hit that number, and we stayed until we hit that number. And typically, we like to hit it on, way before it was actually due. But sometimes that one sale on a Saturday that we needed to hit our goal for the week, we could have got. I mean, people get frustrated, and keep in mind, just imagine yourself in a call center with 20 to 30 people dialing out on a Saturday between 1 and 2, and possibly even up to 3.
How many are hungover while they're dialing out?
And people, if it's a nice day out, people are already gone. They're not at home. Last thing they want to know about is lawn care. And that last sale was, the morale was just down the floor. But, man, that one sale came in, and that's it. We were out the door. And there were not too many of those, but I can tell you that you can see everybody was hoping for the next guy around them that they were going to make that sale, because they didn't have the confidence, or they were just completely worn out. They didn't know who else to call or what else to come up with. Those were fun days. But the next one, the sequence goal. We talk about prioritizing and making, and we just said it a few minutes ago, is that, if you're going to hit certain people because you have them laid out. So if you know that you got to follow up with XYZ customer and B customer and Z customer on the second week, make sure you call them and you make sure you make contact with that individual.
No, it's huge, and you're putting, what did we talk about? The meter, what it was, the number or the color, like green, good to go, or red hot or something like that. And you have a gauge, and while you're prioritizing these, I have that list personally. I got like these 5 or 6 that are on the hook at all times, ready to go, which are live. And, and I talked to them yesterday, and they drop inevitably.
Well, and I think that the best way of defining the sequence goal is that the sequencing means that even if the rep doesn't meet every goal, they meet the one that matters the most, which is the company's bottom line or the professional growth. So even though you might not have met your own personal goal, you hit the bare minimum. I always call it the barbershop effect. If you have a barbershop and you have 4 seats, and you share revenue, do you want to give that third or fourth chair to somebody that's just working part-time, that every once in a while they show up, uh, is that really giving you money compared to somebody who's hungry, who is willing to work, the 6 days or 7 days a week to go ahead and make that chair productive. So I have one guy who's super productive, and then I got one guy that just lackadaisical, shows up whenever he wants, doesn't really care. Who,
And if you have a two-man team at that point, that hurts your bottom line on a daily, like every day. It's eating up leads, money, revenue, the whole nine. You just got to let it go.
and the next one, which is set activity goals. I gotta laugh at this
Activities.
because
I love this.
it just
Activities.
boils down back to the numbers. You know, what are we talking about when we say set activity goals? Activity goals is when you're calling and you're setting up appointments. If you need a minimum of 20 appointments, I'm just giving you a number. If you set up 20 appointments, that means that you should be able to actually do around 10 demos. Okay? If you do around 10 demos, you should be able to do around 6 to 7 pitches, which in turn should give you 2 to 3 sales. Okay? That's just the numbers game.
Go ahead and we just had a few steps there to the sale, and that kind of went over a few people's heads that are listening right now as we're getting some questions. Go ahead and explain a little bit step by step there from the lead, the opportunity, the demo, the pitch, the price, condition, all that. Go ahead.
All right, so
In the simplest way, inform, so we can get back to the Tea Talk topic on our tight half hour, the airtime that we pay for. Man, it's expensive.
okay, so basically, you have your prospect that you might have gotten, phone numbers, or you did a price, or somehow you got names of people that might be interested in whatever you're selling. Okay, those are your prospect. Now, your prospect, you're gonna turn them into lead because now they're interested in whatever you're selling. If you're selling widgets, whatever, and from your lead, now you're gonna do either a presentation, set up an appointment, go through the whole spiel. That you can call it your demo. Okay. From your demo, you're gonna go ahead and hopefully get a signature or get them to say yes to whatever you're selling. Okay.
So out of the whole process, as I'm listening to him, like, what's the most important piece here? I would say it's from that lead to the appointment to the demo,
They're all
the
important.
confirmation. That they're all important, and
They're
the
all
transition
important.
between them are huge.
You cannot have a demo if you don't have a lead. You cannot have a lead if you don't have a prospect. So that is the reason why all good salespeople have what they call a pipeline, and that pipeline should be full of leads, prospects, demos, appointments, and it should be, it'll be lovely to have more demos, but what happens is that everything is by proportion. So for every 100 leads for every 100 prospect that you might have around 50% leads, and out of those 50% leads, you might have 25 that are going to demo, and out of 25 that you're going to demo, you might have 5 to 10 sales, or you might have 5 sales and 5 callbacks. So they're all important.
And when I love that we just broke this down, and it was right on cue with knowing your numbers, being able to set the sequence goals, being able to set the activity goals. You have to know all this broken down from what you want to accomplish on the annual level for personal growth, if you're running the business, whatever it may be.
Well, and what happens is that one of the things that you got to keep in mind is that every industry is a little bit different. So in the home industry, your lead to prospect ratio might be bigger than your SEO or your insurance, and that's why if you're dealing with referrals, your numbers actually changes dramatically. When you're dealing with a single source lead, your numbers are going to go ahead and change dramatically compared to a multiple lead source that shares the leads with 4 or 5 different companies, now you're having to compete a little bit more. So those closing percentage might be lower.
Another point, you're in my mind with great topics to throw in there with real life experience, but I can't tell you how much it's worth it to get a website going, leads generated organically, you getting into the local area that you want to get to organically rather than finding leads through the home advisors of the world. And it's a different game. It's a beast. You're automatically dealt with 3 people. Boom.
Oh yeah, and you're competing against another great salesperson, and
there's a lot of good ones out there.
Different company, and now everything that you do, your show needs to be much better than the other guy's show compared to.
It's all about the show.
It's all about the show.
And being able to present the show in front of all parties involved. And that's where you can miss out on some. I try to get a first round appointment, and the wife or the husband may be there, but I give them a fairly hello and a presentation, but you got to try to pin them down, give them the whole kit and caboodle. That's getting back to the basics.
Now, the one thing you want to do is that you want to incentivize your goals. So every time you hit your goals, you set something. Either it's going out to dinner and just spending $200 on a dinner and just enjoy
around
life.
The golf, around the golf. That's right up my alley.
Whatever, really, something that you
give
you
them
can't
time
do every
off.
day, something that you can't do every day, but you go ahead and do it, and you're just completely proud of it. So either it's a
and it's
short
recognition.
vacation. What was that?
Go ahead. I said, and it's recognition on top of that. One of my earlier mentors, Telecom World, fresh out of high school, tell the story a million times, made really good money. Probably shouldn't have got out of that industry, but if we hit the office goal, we had a beach day once a month. It was phenomenal. Everybody had the day off on a Friday, went to the beach, barbecued, volleyball, bonding, great experience.
Awesome. So that's extremely important. Extra vacation time, and salespeople typically they love R&R. They like time off. That's the reason why they're salespeople.
Being in another quick story, lucky to work with so many different companies. The DirecTV days, we had some pretty neat R&Rs. Favorite was able to go to that Atlantis resort in the Bahamas. Funny quick story is my luggage didn't make the trip. For the formal dinner, I was the guy in the Hawaiian luau button down when I ran one of my first businesses, Young at Life and Atlantis. And yeah, alcohol was involved.
All right, and the next one is monitor your goal progression, and this is where your CRM, your spreadsheet. I hope that I see more of the CRM than spreadsheet, so you know what your numbers are. And again, I think we can't stress it enough that you should know what your numbers are, and it makes it easier if you know your numbers to hit your numbers. If you don't know what your numbers are, it's kind of hard to hit your number.
Definitely. With the CRM part, we did get a couple people with feedback in regards to there are free CRMs out there. Reach out to Digital Masters Company to answer any of your questions there. CRMs are huge. Being able to track and monitor your goals. Yes, we all have the pen and paper and even more advanced, the old school Excel sheets nowadays to track things. But I remember one of the guys I spoke with at Angie's List has like a sports center type setup somewhere in their sales rooms with TVs and live updates of call lengths and closing ratios all along the TVs piping 24/7. You know what's going on. Goals are being hit all the time.
Now the next one is set stretch goals. And what is stretch goals? Okay. Stretch goals is when the sales manager or yourself, you hit your 100%, you're hot, you're just piping hot, and you know what? He feels that you can keep going. There's no reason why to stop. Because, and the expression sandbagging, it's been around for a while. Sandbagging is.
Go ahead, explain.
Sandbagging is when you make a sale, you don't turn it in till when you need to turn it in, like the next week,
To hit some
or
like
you're
some
holding
hit
it
some
back
goals or
because you know you hit the goal for this month and you want to start the next month. I used to sandbag $4, 5, 6 thousand dollars uh, on a where the average a weekly was anywhere between 15 to 20. So
that's
imagine
awesome.
just starting the week with $5 or 6 thousand dollars, and averagely was
Boom.
20, and I just started the week. So that was just, and that's as an individual. So what you want to do is that if you're hot and you don't have nothing else to do, keep going. You know what? An extra $2, 3 thousand dollars instead of making 10,000, you make 12. Oh no, please, forgive me for
Forgive me
I
for the
have
extra few
sinned.
stacks.
Forgive
I'll
me
pay
that
you
I
a
have
grand.
sinned.
You pay
Yes.
me a grand, and I'll pay you a grand to go work that extra half mile. But it turns out it works. You go that extra mile, and a lot of times, if you incentivize going the extra mile, those milestones get hit more often.
Well, and one of the things that if you get into a slump, there's something suggest a mentor goal. Um, you know, you can confide with your management or your friend or the other sales. It depends on your organization, but you know, it, just just try. Um, and sometimes if you're in a slump, what you want to do is you want to step back and go back to basics. A lot of times when we're in a slump, what we try to do is that we try to reinvent the wheel because we think that the wheel is broken, but the wheel is not broken. Um,
It's been running since
it's been
before
running, and
time.
the person that's probably not going through the motion because you're so, I call it the monkey in your head that doesn't let you actually have the buying, the buying signals. You can't hear it because all you hear is I gotta hit a goal. So
Yeah,
just keep that in mind. Create a
and
collective goal. And when we say collective goals, if you have multiple salespeople, you're going to have some people that are going to be better at setting up leads. You're going to have people that are going to be better setting up the closing demos. Try to have something that works for everybody and that everybody gets a little piece of the action. Um, Even if you say, all right, so if the whole team gets and you just talked about we all hit the number, we have an RR, an R&R day going out to the beach.
go play
Uh,
laser tag or something.
yeah, that was our next one on have a happy hour. Um, just this is it could be a team effort. Sometimes a lot of salespeople are by themselves. A lot of business owners are, they're the only one salesperson. But you know what? You might need that R&R just to get out of the slump. And last but not least, number 10, since we're almost getting to our end here, is that um, if whatever else fails, go back to number one. Okay. Um, Sales it's an art. Sales is a process. Um, Selling has been going on for ages. Um, at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're trying to convey your beliefs of the product that you're selling or the service that you're selling to others. The more you're convinced, the more you can convince the other individual. And pricing 9 out of 10 is not necessarily a factor. Um, you, we have a tendency as human to think that price is everything. No, price is not everything, because if I know that I can buy, and we'll use a roof for practical purposes, you know, there's a reason why this roof is 9,000, this roof is 10,000, and this roof is 11,000. along the board, they're most likely not all using the same products. They might not have the same warranties, and the most important thing that they might not have is they don't have you. So, and things that are pretty level, because I can use I can use I can go ahead and and I think we just lost Alex. We're gonna invite him back in. There he is. Welcome back, Alex.
Hey, what's going on? I was listening, man. I was a spectator,
Awesome.
watching it live. You sounded so good, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know what happened, dude. It was like, dude, drop me out of the.
You froze. But it's all good. And we're almost coming
Couldn't
to an
leave
end
without
here.
saying goodbye.
I know. I needed you back here and give the last goodbye of the day. So guys, at the end of the day, price is not a factor. The factor is you, and you got to make it work. And we just went through 10 different steps to setting smarter sales goals within yourself or your organization. I hope you take it. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how to be a better sales manager.
It's a good topic.
Or a better business sales owner.
That's it, because we're all entrepreneurs at heart. Any tip and advice is always good. It's been my pleasure. Please, anybody who wants to reach out to go over how to write goals more in depth, please, by all means, message us, reach out. We'll go more in depth with how to write goals. We've done that, I think, on one of the earlier episodes. But listen, T Talks is for you guys. It's for us at the same time. We're sharpening, we're fine tuning, and we're spreading the wealth live.
Thank you for tuning in to ttalks.net. If you have any questions, comments, or something you want us to talk about, email us at raphael@ttalks.net or comment below. Please follow us on YouTube at ttalksnet and Facebook at ttalksnet. Please rate us and don't forget that sharing is caring. Thank you for your support. Till next time, we will T-Talk later.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's been my pleasure. My name is Alex DeLuca, your host, one of your hosts here on T Talks. We try to give you big tips, wins, insights on a daily. Have a good night. T Talk to you later.
And this is Raphael from Hollywood saying good night. Sharing is caring, and